A potential tie to Islam has Muslims across America standing in solidarity with the victims and those affected by Sunday's shooting. Why do you think that's a good message to apply to an event like this where we're helping kids? You can catch all the national, local, and state election coverage right here on WJHG throughout the day. Let's start rattling off. You interrupt and go to weather whenever you feel like it.
You just go ahead and keep going with your numbers here. This is kind of crazy stuff.
3.14159-26535, 8979323,
Get on Facebook and Twitter. This is accurate, too. If you can do this, we want to see a video of you.
So if people plan on traveling, whether domestically or abroad this summer, what are some of the first things they should do? Protesters took the place of police at the scene of a deadly shooting. Breaking news this morning, President Obama is scheduled to announce his nominee for the open SCOTUS position. How is your tenure as superintendent, do you think, going to help you in a potential future term, having been around for a lot of the changing educational landscape? But if you are headed out that way on your commute this morning, just be aware you're going to have a lot of delays as they get that scene cleared up. The actual popular vote across the nation is still coming in this morning, and it's a little bit more split. But regardless, the people who voted in our poll yesterday by the numbers. Looking at where we are now versus where we were 8 or 16 years ago, it's the reality for millions of Americans seeking health insurance. I looked into the changes to the plan for 2017 amid rate hikes for insurance premiums. The damage at Istanbul's main international airport after it was attacked by suicide bombers. Crystal clear out there right now, but not so safe in the water. Let's start this morning off with a quick look at that weather. He actually has a cane that has been handed down through generations. You can't make this up. This is really how it works. To wrap up today, I promised a couple special groups of kids a little shout out on our show. Ignore that this is happening. You just want to find a way that your child can communicate about it. Those rainfall totals can really vary within neighborhood to neighborhood, even within Panama City. Check WJHG.com throughout the day for updates on that and all the stories you saw here this morning. The Benghazi reports, both the Democratic and Republican ones, came out this week. In Bay County, the average household brings in a median income of $47,000 a year. So take a look. A hypothetical family of 4 making that amount. That family qualifies for a subsidy of $464 per month. The cheapest plan goes from $558 to $94. Fat Boy is one of Gulf World Marine Park's African black-footed penguins. Crews, as you can see behind me, are putting the final touches on that famous lobster sand sculpture. I met with a personal trainer who had me sweating within the first 5 minutes. Burpees kind of gets your heart racing too, as well as warming up those muscles. So what are some good warm-up moves? It's what's inside these books that sparked an all-out war of ideology. Detecting breast cancer early on can sometimes make a life-saving difference. Bay Radiology Women's Imaging Center is leading the Panhandle with new 3D imaging technology aiming to catch those smaller cancers earlier on. I toured the Panama City-based center to see the new equipment in action. By age 40, doctors recommend every woman get her first mammogram, but certain risk factors mean many women go in much earlier.
We take a picture straight down.
New technology at Bay Radiology Women's Imaging Center, like this equipment offering Senoclear 3D mammography, helps to catch smaller cancers earlier.
Everyone is a candidate for that. Any patients can have it. We take mammogram images of the breast, just like a traditional mammogram, and we use those to guide the needle for the biopsy.
All in the same place, on one machine, eliminating the need for a trip to the hospital if cancer is detected. But about 40% of women, those with dense breast tissue, are 1 to 6 times more likely to have breast cancer.
Only something that can be determined on the mammogram. So it's not, some women, their breasts feel, sort of thick or firm, and that's not the same as dense tissue. It's just a mammographic phenomenon.
Dense breast tissue shows up white, but so does cancer.
And so that's the inherent problem, is that the dense tissue can cover up a cancer.
That's where ABIS, a 3D automated breast ultrasound, comes in.
We would press down on the breast, take a picture. It scans back and forth across the breast. 3 different pictures. This one uses no radiation at all. It's only ultrasound waves.
It's still relatively rare around the country. There are only a few sites in the state that have it.
Bay Radiology is the only center in the Panhandle with ABIS. The center screened hundreds of women on ABIS in the past 6 months, actually spotting a few cases of cancer masked by dense breast tissue on the traditional mammogram.
When we think of breast cancer research, I think we think of chemotherapy trials, and that's absolutely important, and we've made some great advances in treatment, but the studies that develop new technologies to find earlier breast cancers are equally important.
A tangible result of how funding for research ends up creating hope for patients and future survivors.
And we know that with breast cancer, the earlier it's caught, the more treatable and curable it is. So it's actually saving patients' lives.
Now, Dr. Weinschmidt-Davis wanted to stress that breast density has nothing to do with the size of your breast, so it's important to talk to your doctor about when to schedule your first mammogram and what the results of your exam say about breast density. Through a new program at Highland Park Elementary School, students and teachers alike are studying what it takes to be a leader. This week's Golden Apple Award winner inspires her students to learn the value of leadership at an early age.
My goal in teaching is to make kids love to come to school and love to learn.
The energy, the focus, and passion for learning are unmistakable in Melanie Baggett's second grade classroom.
Her key thing that she does is she builds a relationship with the students.
That's really awesome. Good job, guys.
For the first year, Baggett is one of the Highland Park Elementary School teachers guiding her students through the Leader in Me program. It's based on the 7 habits of highly effective people.
We translate that into kid words.
Baggett teaches students to be proactive and think with the end in mind, all the way through creating synergy and sharpening the saw.
Do you think he has a growth mindset or a fixed mindset?
Growth mindset.
But everyone can be a leader, not just adults. It really does start when you're a child and learning to own your work, own your decisions. And I'm hoping that by my example that students can learn how to be a leader for themselves too.
And she lives these habits both in and out of the classroom.
I think the most important habit that she is doing is finding her voice to inspire others.
She makes learning fun. She really engages all the students. She knows them, she knows their interest, and she really plays off of that.
What are you writing about?
Proactive stuff, like our habits.
Baggett shows her students that as long as they put their hearts into their education,
I wrote 8 pages.
the payoff will be well worth the effort.
Kids come to school happy. We teach from the very beginning that being proactive means that you're choosing how you act and how you feel. So just the difference in the smiles makes coming to school fun.
The Golden Apple is brought to you by our community partner, Bill Kramer Certified Service Express.
If you'd like to nominate a teacher for the Golden Apple Award, visit our website at WJHG.com and click the Golden Apple tab.